That was a little visceral. Hey everybody, it's Erica over at The Broken Spine. Welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time here, thank you for stopping by. Happy Tuesday. I am not going to prolong this at all because I have a lot of books that I want to get through. But before I do that, let me do as I always do and start off with the question of the day. And the question is, if you could eat only 3 foods for the rest of your life, what would they be? The first one that I'm going to mention is actually 2, but I classify it as 1 because I can't eat one without the other, and that is a grilled cheese and tomato soup. So to me, they just go hand in hand. I mean, the second food that I would eat would be spaghetti and meatballs, or spaghetti and meat sauce, whichever. And the third one is pizza, but a specific pizza from a specific place, and it has to be cauliflower crust. It has to have extra red sauce, mozzarella, green pepper and onion, pepperoni, and they have this thing, it's called Mama Lil's sweet hot peppers. They are delicious. I mean, like scrumdiddlyumptious, delicious. And I usually get them on my pizza, but I also get, a little side of them. So while my pizza's in the oven, I'm sitting there like munching on them. By the time I leave, I'm like, can I have some more, please? Those are the 3 things that I would eat. So in the comments, I'm just mulling over that because now I want some pizza with some Mama Lil's sweet hot peppers. But anyway, so today is, like I said, Tuesday, and it's going to be a top 10 Tuesday. And it's actually a book haul. So I'm still waiting for 2 more books to arrive. I will show them over here. So let's get started because I have quite a few books that I want to show you, and plus I have some books that some wonderful people had sent to me, and I just want to show them to you, show them all to you. So let's get started. The first book that I have is Ta-Nehisi The Water Dancer. This has been pretty popular. I got this, so prior to COVID happening, I was / still am in a book club, and we haven't really met because we're doing different things at the same time, and our schedules oddly are not coinciding right now. But anyway, so I had my book club. I left, and as is my usual thing, I go to the bookstore on my way home. So I went to one of my favorite used bookstores, and as I was leaving, I spied with my little eye The Water Dancer. And I was like, wait a minute, why is this here? It literally just came out. So I picked it up and I got back in line and got it. So yeah, I was super surprised and super excited because since it came out, has been an anticipated read of mine. I enjoyed Ta-Nehisi Coates' nonfiction writing, so I'm excited to see how this is. I've heard mixed things about it, but I still want to find out for myself. So, I didn't say this at the very beginning. This book haul is from January to May. The next book that I have is Remembrance by Rita Woods, and I saw this on Jesse's channel over at Bowties and Books, and they highly recommended it. And when I saw it come into the bookstore, and I read a little bit about it, I was like, oh, this does sound pretty interesting. So I decided to go ahead and pick it up. I've read a little bit, and I'm getting some Octavia Butler vibes here. So and I love Octavia Butler, so I'm hoping I will enjoy this. And my next book is Stay With Me by Ayobami Adebayo. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Anyway, I saw this at one of my favorite used bookstores, and I it caught my eye because it's colorful, or it's bright rather. And then I read the description and I was like, "Ooh, this is pretty intriguing to me." So I will read it to you. It's very short, or it's short. Yejade and Aiken have been married since they met and fell in love at university. Though many expected Aiken to take several wives, he and Yejade have always agreed polygamy is not for them. But 4 years into their marriage, after consulting fertility doctors and healers, trying strange teas and unlikely cures, Yejade is still not pregnant. She assumes she has time until her family arrives on her doorstep with a young woman they introduce as Aiken's second wife. Furious, shocked, and livid with jealousy, Yejade knows the only way to save her marriage is to get pregnant, which finally she does, but at a cost far greater than she could have dared to imagine. So I'm interested to see where this takes us. And the next book that I have is Home Fire by Kamila Shamsie, and I could have sworn I had this when I lived in Colorado, but when I unpacked my boxes of books, I didn't see it in there. So when I was at a bookstore, my used bookstore, I saw this and I was like, okay, well, it's $3. I'll pick it up. But yeah, I was thinking about reading this for the summer, but possibly going to be scheduled as a judge for the BookTube prize. So I don't know how I will be able to do that. And my schoolwork. The next book that I got purely because I fell in love with the cover, and I had never heard of this author before, Jose Saramago, and this cover is just absolutely gorgeous, and the spine of it as well. I fell in love with it. So this is a compilation of 3 of his novels: The Year of the Death of Ricardo Rice, The Gospel According to Jesus Christ, and Blindness. The one that seems to be the most popular is Blindness, and that is the one that, when I read the synopsis of it, seemed to interest me the most. I hope to get to Blindness by the end of the year. The next book is Robert Boliano's 2666. So I actually had this in a single volume, but this is 3 volumes here, and I really, when I saw this at the bookstore, I was just like, oh, I really like this. And the and on top of that, more it's just more approachable to have it in 3 volumes psychologically anyway. And I just love the way it has the 2666 and the author's name on the 3 volumes. So and I just like the covering as well. So it was just aesthetically pleasing for me all the way around. The next book that I have is Madeline Miller's The Song of Achilles. Again, this has been on my TBR for quite a while. I started Cersei. I wasn't a fan of Cersei, so I said I DNF'd it, but I said I will read The Song of Achilles, and then I will circle back to Cersei. The next book that I have is There by Tommy Orange. Again, this is one, since it came out, that has been on my radar to read. The next book that I always butcher her first name, but Ntozake, I think that's how you pronounce Shange. She's the author of For Colored Girls Who Considered Suicide. So I remember reading that in undergrad and absolutely loving it. It's less than 300 pages. This is another one that I would love to get to by the end of the year. So the two books that I am waiting for are Sissy by Jacob Tobia and Rubyfruit Jungle by Rita Mae Brown. Has been on my TBR for years, and it's like every time I go to the library to try and check it out, it's either on hold or there are none in the library. Like right now in my library system, they're all checked out. So and I mean lit through Libby. So yeah, so I just decided to knuckle under and go ahead and buy it because I think it's something that I will enjoy. I've enjoyed Rita Mae Brown's writing in the past. She has never failed me, so I do think that I will enjoy this. So, which brings us to the books that people sent me. So one of my coworkers, I love her dearly. She knew that I wanted these two books and she sent them to me. So the first one is Severance by Ling Ma, which I am reading right now for Asianathon. And I don't know if you can see that. My tabbies, I've been annotating. This is a science fiction satire. A really quick synopsis of it. It goes between flashbacks, and Candace, who's our main character, is immune to this fever. It's called Sheng Fever that has originated in Shenzhen, China. The people that have Sheng Fever end up repeating tasks until they die. So there's this one scene where they are watching a family and the wife is cooking dinner and serving out dinner, and her husband and her son sit down to eat, and she just after they're done, she clears the table and then she starts the process over again, and they again sit down to eat, and she gets up, they get up. So you get the picture. And there are select few that have not gotten the fever that are apparently immune to it. So they are in the process of traveling from New York or from wherever to go to, I believe it's Chicago, where the leader, Bob, has some type of building that they're gonna basically hold up there and live out. But in the process of them traveling to Chicago, they end up they go to different houses and like stores, and they procure things that they will need in order to survive. So it's interesting. And I'm going to tell you, this Bob character, if somebody does not get rid of him, or if he does not get the fever, I am if he makes it to the end, I am going to be like really upset because right now, and I am only on chapter 6. I'm only on chapter 6, and I want to kill him myself. He he's on my last good nerve, and I'm I want him gone. So yes, this is a very, very strong feeling that I'm having, and I need him to be gone. That is all. That was a little visceral. The next book that I have is Audre Lorde's Sister Outsider. So I started reading this during Blackathon, and I checked it out through Libby, and I was just like, you know what? Nope, I'm not gonna read this. I need a physical copy of this. I think since this is short and it's essays, I think I might read this for Pride Month. I should be able to read an essay a day. And last but not least, the wonderful Simone over at Chasing Pages, and I will link her up here somewhere. And she was gracious enough to get Brown Girl in the Ring for me by Nalo Hopkinson. I'm excited to read this. Oh, I forgot. I have another Nalo Hopkinson book that's on the way, and that's The Salt Roads. So yeah, I'm excited. So thank you so much, Simone, for this. That's all I have for you. If you like this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, hit the bell to be notified of new content, and don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you guys later. Bye.